think there were many people from 60s that were against what happened to your family, to your mother and brother? Because, you know, there are many members from the set.
Oh, yeah.
And there was only a handful of assailants. There had to be some disagreement. Did you ever find out, like, what was that like?
Well, so that's just it, right? See, I ended the life of a reputable from that neighborhood, right? And for some, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, right? Some of the homies are like darlings, who can do no wrong, who is like, wow, man, we love that dude. The way they show up is like they the life of the party. You always hanging around them. They're always doing something that's for the neighborhood, that's for you. So I'll say that, man, yeah. What was the question again?
Do you feel that what happened to your mom and your 15-year-old little brother created a divide between some 60s that was not cool?
Oh,
and of course the 60s that signed off on that.
So you had some that was with that. That's just the nature of the beast. You know, for some, that's just who they are and that's just what they about. We don't give a fuck, right? That's our narrative and that's what we're about. But you had some like, yeah, man, who, matter of fact, you know, Big Hugh. He was somebody who like, when we were in the county jail in between 85 and 88 before I caught the chain at HOJJ, I saw Big Hugh in the holding cell. And the thing was, he expressed to me, man, he said, man, I'm sorry what happened to your family. I wasn't with that. And he said, I ain't got nothing against you.
Wow.
But your homies, right? And so that was his narrative, what he, you know, so we kind of like just locked eyes and just shook heads. And it was what it was. But that was something that he said to me, you know what I mean? You know, he mentioned it, and so, I mean, I just took him for his word.
Now, even though it was up between the Eight Trays and the 60s, you was able to have a cordial conversation with Big U like that during the height of the conflict?
Yeah. Indeed.
All right, so back to that question. Even though you were in the height of the war between the 60s and the Eight Trays, you was able to have a cordial, peaceful, respectful conversation with Big U. What was that like?
Well, you know, when you're in holding tanks, you know, you got cuffs on or whatever, you know what I mean? You can talk, you know, in some instances. And I'm going to tell you, man, for me, man, I was afraid of being violent. And the reason I was afraid of being violent, because I thought that I would lose myself in violence and never come back from it again. Because I had so much anger and rage inside. So I'm just saying, like, that I felt that I would not be able to control myself. After the murders occurred, and after I got inside custody, where all the weed wore off, all the drinking wore off, the PCP wore off, right? So I'm just saying, I was able to be at a place to where I had empathy for others, because I realized all the harm that I did and the harm that I caused others. You see? And so I'm like, it just allowed me to see where everything was a joke before that. You see? But I had so much anger and rage in my heart that I feared that I would be violent and lose myself. And I was the type of person, even when I smoked PCP, to where I felt like I was cognizant of where I was and what was going on. I was not a person to like lose myself. I wouldn't like to lose myself mentally in drugs or anything else for that matter. And so part of where I was feeling for myself is that I would lose myself in violence and wouldn't be able to come back from that. Like have a mental breakdown.
How old were you when you first smoked PCP?
I would say maybe about 15 years old, maybe younger.
I've read in Tookie's book, he talked about smoking PCP, and then also, of course, Cody talked about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let me ask you, did you ever smoke PCP with Cody?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Me and we used to ride around in this 8, like especially like when in '84 when I got out, he was out. Yeah, we used to. He had a gray '68 Chevy, and yeah, we would definitely hang and indulge and yeah, a few of the homies from time to time. But it wasn't necessarily my drug of choice. But at the same time, I'm hanging with the homies and they indulging, so I would indulge. But I will tell you this: one thing I didn't indulge in was crack cocaine, and what saved me from that was when I came home from Youth Authority in '84. See, at that point, crack had taken over the city, and so I saw girls who I used to want to get with out smoking crack. I mean, looking all disheveled. Some of the homies, as a matter of fact, one of the ones who we just left today, who was on the bike, like he used to like have the perm and on swole, and I saw that he had went down to a point. And so I'm like, if this happened to him, then I'm definitely not gonna smoke.
When you was in YA, did you ever cross paths with Lil Fee? Because I think he was in there in '84.
Lil Fee was in so let me say this. They had the Crip module, but so Crazy D and I went into the Crip module. And as soon as I went in there, they called me, what's the name of that damn SSI or I forget the name of the goons of the sheriffs.
Oh, you're talking about OSS?
Yeah, OSS.
Operation Safe Streets.
Yeah, Operation Safe Street. Yeah, OSS called me inside their little office, and because people had told, like, hey, this guy, whoa, this is going on. You let him on this tier, it's gonna be issues. Whoa, because you're gonna have different Crips and whatnot clicking up, and it's gonna be on and popping. So what they ended up doing was they sent me to HOJJ, Hall of Justice Jail. Now that was the best thing they could have did for me, right? Because the Hall of Justice Jail, there were just 2-man cells. They had different floors. The food was better. You had more freedom there. So that was one of the best things that we can do. And so that's where I saw Big Hugh in HOJJ.
Did you know Big U before you saw him in the tent?
I didn't know him, but I heard his name a few times.
Now, were you about to allude to Little Fee?
So Lil Fee, we never crossed paths. I mean, he was. We probably saw each other in passing and doing court hearings and whatnot, but it's like if there was no energy, then there was no energy. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is if I see you in passing and you in chains and I'm in chains, I'm not going to be talking shit to you. You know what I'm saying? And so it wasn't even about that. You know what I mean?
Did you have any friends that were from the Rolling 60 that you may have known from elementary school before you started, before you got put on the Eight Tray? Did you ever cross paths with 60s as childhood friends?
I can't say off the bat, but I know a few people who. So one of the things is this: you have people who used to claim their neighborhood. It seemed like anybody could just represent their neighborhood. So I knew a few people who used to claim their neighborhood, but I didn't think that they were necessarily from their neighborhood, if you know what I mean.